Thanks for tuning in and welcome back to the shop. This is not a hitch, but it will look like a hitch when it's installed. The idea is going to be to cut off the bottom 2.5 inches of this lip of the back of the truck, which you can see I didn't paint. Cut a notch up here and weld this receiver in on the front side as a mount for our spare tire. Now last time when I cut the subframe off of the main frame, I cut across here, I used my grinder with some zip discs on it, and it works, but it takes a while. So this time, I think we're going to use a plasma cutter.
My plasma cutter is the Eastwood VersaCut 40. It's running off of 240 volts and compressed air with an inline air dryer. The VersaCut 40 is intended for cutting steel up to 3/8 of an inch thick, so I'm pushing it slightly over the edge of what this little machine can do, and it's taking it like a champ. I've always been impressed with the Eastwood stuff. Cutting a 2.5 inch strip off the bottom may not seem like much, but it is going to slightly improve the departure angle of the truck and keep the spare tire tucked up as high as possible on the back.
I guess it's not quite getting through.
Now that I've got the basic shape cut out with the plasma cutter, I'm going to hit it with my grinder to smooth out the edges, get rid of the slag, and I'm going to put a bit of a bevel on the outside edge just so that I can get a bit of a better weld. This is 1/2 inch thick steel. My welder's not that powerful, so by putting a bevel on here, it allows me to get a root pass in that'll make the final weld stronger.
Some time later.
Well, after a little bit of grinding and a little bit more fitting, you can see we've got the receiver tube kind of set in place. We've got a bevel all the way around. You see I do have a pretty big gap on the sides, but that's okay. I want to be able to get nice and deep with the welder so that I can get a good root pass in before a cap on there. Right now on the back side, all I have is a couple of magnets holding it in place. Can't quite see that, can you? Wrong way. Right there. So that's just keeping everything square while I get the first couple of tacks in. After I get those tacked in place, I am going to replace the upper magnet with this little gusset that I cut out of a piece of the 1/2 inch that came off of the bottom here. Time to break out the welder.
My welder is running off 120 volts and using 023 solid wire and auto shield welding gas, which is a mix of argon and CO2. Welding a 1/2 inch thick steel is also pushing what this little machine can do, but with the right prep work and keeping up with the heat, it will get the job done. Sometimes things just don't work and you need to grind it out and start over. That's better. Welding the backside would have been much easier before I put the subframe back on. It's pretty tight in here and some places are impossible to see, so I'm basically welding by sound. A quick sanding on the outside just to keep the weld as flat to the face as possible. I'm doing everything just to keep the overall truck length under 20 feet. A little bit of paint next time I have it out and it should be all good.
Well, I don't know if you can hear the rain on the roof, but it is pouring rain outside, and I'm glad I got that cut across the bottom done before all that started. The receiver is now welded in. think it'll do the job, and that's all I've got for this video. If you enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up. If you've got a question, throw a comment down below. If you think this video will help someone, please share it. And that's all I've got for this time. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.